So this stuff is actually pretty hilarious to look at. Now, when it comes to Niko House, I really haven't heard much about him recently. Although, as this is something I'm going to explain to you guys, I was actually blocked by him over on Twitter. So that's very interesting. This actually happened, I believe, 3 or 4 weeks ago or something like that. He blocked me on Twitter, so I can no longer view his tweets. Now, he does block certain people, and I imagine it's because the stress that comes on with basically trying to shill for a candidate nonstop, it's very high. So it's a very stressful thing to do, and I would imagine that's the reason why you would be in a position where you're blocking people. I get it. I see what it is. I think there are some other people blocked, but I think I'm probably part of a select few. I certainly haven't seen any big names who have been blocked, so no big names, which makes it very, very interesting here. Now, he's also a bit delusional. Now, I have to comment something about the Tulsi campaign before I actually get into this. The Tulsi campaign is the sort of weirdest, most fascinating thing I've seen in a long time, because if you guys don't know, she has announced that she will not be running for re-election for her House seat, which makes no sense. Because she's not going to win the presidential election. She's consistent and persistent in stating that she's going to the convention. I don't see how that's possible. I don't think it's possible. I don't think she will. She'll pretty much be forced to drop out after, the craziest would be is if she somehow survives Super Tuesday, which is not happening. If you don't know how it works, you need 15% to get any delis, to get any delegates. She's not getting 15% anywhere. There's a ton of people in the race. And so I don't know what she's thinking. So I don't know what's up with that she's not running for the House re-election. It's kind of like, when Cell and Frieza basically blew themselves up. This is what it reminds me of, but it doesn't make sense. The only way it would be logical is if it's like, you're going to lose your seat. That'd be the only way. But I don't know whether or not she would lose her seat. I would be skeptical of that, but I guess if there's some math that are supporting that, I'm actually not aware of that. But Niko House, like Tulsi, seems to be deranged, saying Tulsi can win all 50 states. This is in response to a report Hillary Clinton calling on Democrats to pick a candidate who could win the Electoral College. Very funny because Bernie would have won the Electoral College. But unfortunately, the Democrats picked the one who couldn't do that. But the idea that anybody, I guess if you're talking semantics here, I guess the way of saying, can win all 50 states, does that mean that, you're saying she could win 50-0? Because obviously that's not going to happen. She has no chance of winning 50 states. It seems to be the case that Niko House thinks that Republicans in states like, Alabama, which is actually where he says is the only state that she'd have trouble in, Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, these really stupid states with a concentration of a lot of idiots, especially with a lot of Republicans, which is essentially synonymous. There's no way she would have a chance of winning in them. Even Bernie can't win all 50 states. Bernie would definitely win, of course. I don't know if Tulsi would win the election necessarily. I'm not really sure. I mean, Democrats, I'm sure, are not going to be very excited about her. And then I think he's overestimating the Republican support for her. I think if it came down to the election, I think that she wouldn't pull as many Republican voters as you think. Now, online and on social media, Republicans are constantly praising her, but there are also some other Republicans who are saying, Tulsi Gabbard is a socialist, don't support her. So there seems to be a bit of a clash and a battle going on as to, what their opinion on Tulsi Gabbard is and how they want to proceed with that. But the idea that she could win all 50 states, I think, is insanity. I'm not even sure if she could win the election necessarily. Nobody really knows who Tulsi Gabbard is anyways. And then, by the time if she were to win the primary, which she's obviously not going to in this hypothetical sense, I guess people would know who she is. But I certainly don't think that she would win all 50 states or that she even has a chance to win all 50 states. She's not going to do that. She wouldn't be able to do that. But, this delusion that seems to be a characteristic of people in the Tulsi fan base, pretty concerning, I'd have to say, if I say so myself. So let me know your thoughts on this down below. Very curious to hear them.